Well, fuck you, Chris Carter. Now I fucking want more. Now let's talk about the X Files, right? For a second, let's talk about the X Files, just the entire season, pretty much. Now I thought this episode was actually pretty solid for a season finale for the most part. But let's talk about some good things, right? Some good things was the Mulder fight, right? I thought the Mulder fight was pretty good. I thought it was nice to see that he was actually, we actually could see his moves and whatnot. Unfortunately, that choreographed fight was not very well choreographed. It did look a little sloppy. It had a little bit of some inaccuracies to the point where he's like, he bashes the guy with the statue. I'm just like, wouldn't he have to go down or give him a concussion or something or whatever it may be? Some other things is that I really did enjoy kind of like the story just in general, where they're talking about like the Spartan virus kind of like spreading, and it's kind of like AIDS or like anthrax. I thought that was very interesting. Now, granted, the story was interesting. How they kind of carried out was not necessary that well. Some other good things. Was that I do feel like this was kind of a little bit better than I Want to Believe, the last movie in some aspects, but also not really that much. Now, this episode had a lot of suspense to it, and I was on the edge of my seat for most of the episode. But, for the most part, I feel like this was a third film, but Chris Carter just kind of like cut it in half. Like, there was a couple times where I was just like, this is 2 hours, right? But unfortunately, no, it's just an hour. Now, let's get to some of the negatives. Some negatives is pretty much Joel McHale. Joel McHale, I don't know what it is about Joel McHale, but I did not take him serious. When he's doing his speeches on TV, I was just like, this is, I can't take this. I literally laughed because it's like a joke. Anytime I see him on TV, really, right? I can't buy him. His conversation with Scully, the first conversation they had at the very beginning, it just came off as very awkward, and it seemed like Joel McHale wasn't very taking it seriously. When he's sick on the air, and when he's doing his broadcast on the air, he's still sick. It reminded me of like Batman '89. Remember when the newscasters had like the Joker toxin? That's what that kind of reminded me of. Also, just in general, Einstein in here, I feel like Einstein and Miller, they were just kind of in here to just be in here, kind of like last week where Mulder and Scully were just kind of there to be there. They were really only in here to probably further the series and hopefully get a spin-off from them. But there were really no point to really putting them in here. Now, granted, the cigarette smoking man I thought was actually pretty good, and his conversations with Mulder were great. But some other things that really didn't work too much for me particularly was just the fact that this just kind of seemed pointless, right? Now, granted, look, I thought this episode was actually pretty good. I thought it was actually a pretty solid episode. There was a couple times where Einstein had that look on her face when Scully's telling her something. It's like, huh? She looked like she didn't even understand what the fuck she was talking about. Now, my problem with the season just in general was that we had a first good episode, or a first solid episode, right? And you can tell this episode was filmed right after the first episode, because it just seemed like it was, they mixed up the order, and I believe they did. So, everything just seems kind of like fucked up and confusing. Now, granted, this season was okay, right? They had some good, some bad, but unfortunately there was more filler. And sadly, the filler episodes were more fun, but unfortunately they really didn't stick to the path. And by the time they got back to the story, and this season, it was already too late, and then we just left off on a cliffhanger. The whole point of this revival was to pretty much end it on a high note, and just end it once and for all. But unfortunately, Chris Carter got greedy, and now he's just like, hey, look, I'm going to end this sumbitch on a cliffhanger. We're going to look at Scully's eyes, and she may or may not get abducted or whatever it may be. I'm just like, dude, just wrap it up. Just call it a day. You don't have to constantly keep on bringing this shit up. I know you want, Einstein and Miller to get their own spinoff, but nobody does. Nobody wants that. Just end this once and for all. Look, like I said, these episodes were fine. Some of them were good. Some of them were okay, and some of them were just kind of there. There are a lot of questionable things in here. Some people don't like Chris Carter. Some people say he's the George Lucas of the X-Files. And if that's true, then kind of, maybe he doesn't need to go away. Maybe he could have gave it to Vince Gilligan to take up the reins. But then again, he's winning Emmys for Better Call Saul and Breaking Bad, so he doesn't want to go back to this. Now, look, by making it a cliffhanger, I don't have a problem with it. The problem is he got cocky. You don't even know if this shit is going to really come back. Now, granted, I think he said it is, but how long is it going to take? You think by the time they do another revival in like 5-6 years, Anderson and Duchovny want to actually fucking come back to this? Probably not. So therefore, he kind of, counted his eggs before they fucking hatched, or how's the saying goes. But to me personally, is that, look, I enjoyed this episode, and I thought it was good, but ending it on a cliffhanger really was just a bit of a cop-out to the fans, and just kind of saying that, hey, you want more? Guess what? You may or may not get more, because it really doesn't give you any closure. And the whole point of this revival, I thought, was to give people closure. And once again, we don't get one. We get another fucking alleged closure of the episode or the series, and with no real payoff. But now, spoiler, real quickly, they have to find Mulder and Scully's son in order to save Mulder, and then the spaceship comes and allegedly abduct Scully or whatever it may be. Either way, I thought her eyes was going to turn to cat eyes for some reason. I don't know why, but yeah, that's my review. I think the season was fine. I thought it had some solid things, some good moments, but no episode was really great. When you kind of rank this whole season up, it's just a very average season. That's it. But yes, comment, subscribe, and like. If you actually enjoy my review, great. If you have not seen my other videos, then go ahead and do that. But signing out.